Keep it short, stupid.
Yeah, that's definitely. Make sure your emails are responsive for all sizes. For email, you want to make sure if it's on mobile that your call to action can scoot to the top because people might not scroll to the bottom. Make sure that the web page they're going to is also mobile. Make sure the content is short and sweet, and I think that works. That works. You'll notice really, really fast if it's working or not, if your content's too long, if your call to action's wrong. And I don't read any email unless it's on my phone, right? Because your email's attached to your phone. So think about how people are using it. Think about how you use it. And remember that these people are people also. And they have all the time in the world. They might be sitting at lunch, and you're interrupting their lunch with your email. Make sure it's relevant and use your time wisely.
Yeah, I was going to say, similar to what she was saying, make sure that I had this experience last night where I got an email and they wanted me to purchase something and I was all set to purchase and the link on the email went to a site that was not mobile friendly. So then I had to go to my computer and that's kind of a pain at 10 o'clock at night. So make sure that there is a full mobile experience. If people are getting a mobile friendly email, that they can follow that through to purchase.
I think for us, we're if I were to rate us on a scale of 1 to 10 in that regard, I'd give us a 2. We really haven't evolved properly in that regard. We know what needs to be done, but it's hard. It's really hard to do. There are a lot of boxes to tick, when you're trying to do this. So I think the most important thing that you can do is figure out what the possibilities are, what the best practices are, and I hate that word because it varies per universe. But what the things are that matter most to your user space, and and really and prioritize them. Make sure you're doing one of them really, really well, and then the next one really, really well. Because you can't do all things really, really well. So really pick and choose and prioritize where you spend your time, especially if you have limited staff or resources.
I would say know where your audience is looking at your emails. So if you're seeing only 20% on mobile, maybe that's not a priority, but you should learn how to code emails mobile responsive if you know HTML, or know somebody in your company who can learn or knows how to code in responsive HTML. I had a previous company, we saw our mobile engagement go from 20% to 60% in a year, and immediately we knew what we had to do. We had to move it, all our email coding, all our email creative to a mobile version. And same thing at LegalZoom. We know we're seeing that growth already, and we need to make sure that it's mobile responsive, and we need to keep testing on when new stuff comes up. When Apple Watch came out, I'm like, oh, we didn't focus on text. Now we kind of have to focus on text, maybe, and keep an eye out on what that engagement is on Apple Watch. It may be nothing, so you may not have to worry. It may grow years upon years, but people are looking at different areas. Watch something smaller, something more concise. And that's what you need to keep an eye on.
Yeah, definitely, especially to Matt's point there and Justin's here, as we move into different devices and kind of the Internet of Everything or Internet of Things, whatever you want to call it, technology companies that are providing that will leave you by the wayside. You will, unfortunately, kind of die on the side of the road if you can't keep up, right? So we're seeing more Apple Watches now. I'm sure a couple of people here have them. As that becomes a little bit more of a tool that you get used to, just like your phone now is probably 90% of your emails or more. Only if I'm working on my laptop do I actually look at my email there, right? So I expect for marketers to know what I use and respond in kind. And especially as we move into even further out technology, which is not that far off, Apple announced that it's getting into the car business, right? So, okay, that means that Siri is going to be running my car and reading my emails to me as I drive, right? So, okay, what does my text look like? What does my content look like? How does it read? How do I, what words do I use? Can Siri pronounce that? Different things like that you just kind of think about in the future, and it kind of brings you back to some of those more core fundamental concepts of just information and messaging, right? What am I trying to do with this email? What's the purpose of this? Don't get caught up in that, well, we've been doing it this way and we've got a little bit of success here, so we don't want to lose that success, right? We got to hold on to that little bit of open rate, right? Well, unfortunately that's going to go down and you will get left by the side of the road as other companies, your competitors most likely move into that space and build teams around wearables and all sorts of different stuff. So I would just be like a little bit more cognizant of that and understand where we're going and start to do things with your marketing materials now that can speak to that in the future.
And I would just like to add one last thing, which is don't be afraid of a plain email. People like emails from people, not companies. So one of the tricks you can try is instead of your fancy marketing email with all the graphics and the photos, make it look like somebody typed it from Gmail and Outlook.